There are a lot of discussions here in Cannes about what generative AI will be doing to our industry and to the experience for consumers and audiences. But of course, everybody in first instance is focusing on the efficiency and the effectiveness and what it will do to the industry. But I think if we move it one stage further, it'll definitely have an effect on sustainability as well. We'll focus on the experience, what it will mean for the human being, for the audience, for the consumer, for the end user. Because ultimately that will drive the success of what this change. If you make the link to sustainability and also, of course, digital, the first element is around measurement. So in order to reduce the carbon footprint, we need to measure it correctly. And initially we could only do that in digital, but now we can do it cross-channel, which is really exciting and which really helps our clients to move it a step further. Apart from the measurement, which of course is critical, because when you do the measurement, you can define your zero science-based targets. The first element is the what. So what do we transmit? What do we communicate? So simple elements like the length of an online video, the file size, etc., are elements that we can manipulate, that we can change. And that does not necessarily mean that the communication becomes less valuable, because what we're now working on is a new currency in advertising, and Dentsu is really strong at that, which is attention. So previously it was all about reach. Attention means that we are focusing very much on which communication really has effect for the end receiver. So it means you don't spend energy on any communication that doesn't have effect, which literally for energy makes a big change, because you can make ads smaller, more targeted and more relevant at the same time. The second one is the when and the where you do communicate. So you choose marketplaces and media owners that have set net zero science-based targets themselves. And then last but not least is the how. That's the third dimension. And the how is about how you plan. And how you plan has to do with, on the one hand side, you want to make sure that the carbon footprint is minimized. On the other hand side, you have your commercial objectives. And then again, I come back to what we call the attention economy, using attention as a currency, because when you focus on the right attention and on the right effect, you can bring down the transmission and the footprint in terms of emission. We also need to realize that we have a responsibility as an industry. So our industry in the past decades were really focusing on sell more stuff. And in a world where the resources are finite, you need to take a different approach. And where our industry can make a big difference is we can change how people think, how people feel, and how people act. Just think about getting people into electric cars, into plant-based food, into reduced packaging products, into green banking, green pensions. If we are able to make that interesting to people and irresistible, we as an industry can do that together with our clients. Then we move the needle. So again, this for me is the most exciting brief that the industry can ever receive.
These devils in their sustainability.
So our idea was to create a platform that actually fits into the ecosystem and that gets accepted as part of it. That's why we then developed a fish that behaves like a fish and is also accepted by other marine creatures as a fish. So it has to be silent, it has to also appear like a fish, it has to move like a fish. There is a front part, which is the head. It houses all the electronics and the camera, and it's the only proper waterproof part. There's no water that gets in and should get in. Then there's a belly, the main body part. And there you have the big components like a heavy battery, our motors that propel our fin, and that propel our pump for the environmental DNA filter. The environmental DNA filter is also in there.
腕の特徴はですね、こうやって人の2本の腕以上にたくさん腕を増やせるってことだけではなくて、実はこれ背中のソケットでですね、外したりつけたりで、さらに別の人に貸したりということもできるようになるんですね。付け替えると、今はこういう腕の形だけですけれども、例えば将来背中から羽を生やしたりとかですね、ドローンをつけたりとか、さまざまなアタッチメントを付け替えしながら、いろんな能力を獲得していく、そういうようなこともできるんじゃないかなというふうに思っています。
For the next trip, they're going to get bit by a radioactive spider. Shalom.